Yes, so that's the place about uh, of Ashoka's Dhamma. So that's what we are going to check. Okay. So what were the welfare measures during Ashoka's time? Ashoka was deeply concerned about the welfare of the people of his empire. In one of his edicts he says, all men are my children, and just as I desire for my children, they should obtain welfare and happiness both in this world and the next. The same I desire for all men. So as he wished for his children, he wished that all his people should get the same effect from him and the same service from him. Ashoka built good roads and planted trees on both sides of the road. Along the roads, he constructed rest houses where travelers could rest. A large number of wells were dug. Ashoka also built many hospitals, both for people and animals. He regularly went on tours and tried to solve the problems of his subjects. He did his best to ensure that the people of his empire were happy. The spread of Dhamma. Spread of Dhamma is in the sense like Ashoka wanted people to understand Dhamma, follow it in their daily lives and benefit from it. He took many steps to spread Dhamma. Ashoka led by a personal example. He followed the principles of Dhamma in his daily life. Ashoka issued edicts, edicts which contained the principles of Dhamma. His 14 rock edicts and several pillar edicts, besides many minor edicts, describe the reforms he carried out and the moral principles he encouraged. Most of these edicts were in the Brahmi script. The language was Prakrit, the language of the masses. Ashoka put up these edicts in different parts of his empire, generally in public places, in the markets or temples where a large number of people gathered. These edicts have been found in India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Nepal. Excuse me. Understood. He had written down on these rock engravings, edicts, pillars. He used to write down the rules how to lead your life. He used to do it in temples, public places, markets, where people gather. The most people were who can read it. These edicts were found in India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Nepal. Ashoka appointed officials called Dharma Mahamatras to spread the Dhamma. These officers went from place to place and spread the message of Dhamma among the people. Some of them even went outside the country to Sri Lanka, Southeast Asia, Central Asia, and Egypt to spread his type of system. Administration. This was the spread of Dhamma. Welfare measures, we know he built roads, hospitals, wells, and rest houses for people, for travelers. Administration. How did he take care of his work? Modern administration can be divided into 4 divisions: central, provincial, district, and village, which is still going on into our country. The administration of the city was Pataliputra, was separate, which is now Patna. Central, the king was the supreme authority. He took all important decisions concerning the empire. It was a monarchy rule. He was assisted by a council of ministers. They acted as the king's advisors. Provincial, the empire was divided into many provinces, each headed by a prince. He ruled the province as a representative of the king and was assisted by many officers as a CM of a state. Districts. Provinces were further divided into districts. The Pradeshta was the head of the district. He was assisted by the Yuktas and Rajukas. They measured the land, collected tax, and maintained the law and order. Village. A number of villages made up a district. Villages assisted government officials in marking the village boundaries, maintaining land records, and collecting taxes. Each village had a headman who was chosen by the villagers themselves. It's still going on, the panchayat thing. Pataliputra was the capital of the empire. It was surrounded by a wooden wall which had 64 gates and 570 towers. There was also a moat around the city to protect it from enemy attacks. Okay, one second, I want to know what is this word which they have used here. One second, I have to give this meaning to you so that you won't have a problem. Moat irrigation. Moat is actually, okay, understood now. Moat is which you have surrounding. Suppose our school, our Hertford school is there. We dig a moat around the full place and fill it with water so that people can't come over. You know, a huge ditch digged up all sides. We dig our a trench and fill it with water, and so that no one can just cross over. You need a bridge to come across into, so that no more attacks can happen. A committee of 30 members looked after the administration of the city. The committee was divided into 6 boards, each comprising of 5 members. Each board looked after specific departments such as the comfort and security of foreigners, registration of births and deaths, industry, trade and commerce, inspection of manufactured goods, collection of taxes. 6 groups, 5 people each, that makes 30. 30 members, 30 people are taking 5 members each in 6 groups. So they took care of these works. Army. The Mauryan army has had foot soldiers, horses, elephants and chariots. A separate department looked after the production of weapons. The Senapati was the head of the army. There were also large number of spies, many of whom were women spies who used to get information about other places. Revenue. How did the revenue come in? Land revenue was the main source of income, taxes. It was fixed between 1/4 and 1/6 of the produce, depending upon the fertility of the soil. Revenue was also obtained from trade. Patliputra, Ujjain, Taxila and Proch were important inland trading centers. Overseas trade was carried on with Rome, Egypt, China and Sri Lanka. Other sources of income were forest mines, custom duties, fines and gifts. Arthashastra also mentions water tax. A water tax was also taken. The money collected through tax was spent on maintaining the army, paying salaries to the government officers and charities, and on public welfare activities such as building hospitals and roads. Same thing is going on now. Whatever tax we pay is taken care of by the municipality, the state and the central. Okay, so this was Dhamma. So everyone is still following Ashoka's rule. Go through this chapter, read it and do it for homework. So we are done. See you in the next class. And keep safe, be safe, keep your parents safe, keep yourself safe, keep yourself healthy, love your parents, respect them. Dhamma, one of the following Dhamma, respect your parents.